Sacred Lenten blessings. Bismillah ar-rahman ar-rahim, meaning in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. The supreme quality of God is that He is gracious. The whole essence of Christianity can be defined in this one single word, grace. An equivalent of this we can find in every other religion. Karuna in Buddhism, Kripa in Hinduism, Rahma or Fadl in Islam, Asha in Zoroastrianism, Hen in Judaism, Nada or Meher in Sikhism, and so on. So let's try to understand grace with the help of a story. So this story we find in Bhagavata Purana, 6th canto, in chapters 1 and 2. Ajmila was a pious and righteous Brahmin. He was devoted to his duties, cared for his aged parents, and did all the responsibilities sincerely. One day, while walking through the forest to gather wood for a sacred fire, Ajmila saw a beautiful young woman, a prostitute, laughing and embracing a drunken man. Ajmila was struck by desire, and his mind became restless. Despite knowing it was wrong, he abandoned his wife, parents, and religious duties to live with the woman. Time passed and Ajmila's life took a dark turn. He indulged in theft and gambling, doing anything to support his new lifestyle. He had many children with the woman and he loved his youngest son the most, naming him Narayana after the Lord Vishnu. Many years passed and Ajmila grew old and was on his deathbed. He saw three fearsome beings enter his room, the Yamadutas, the messengers of the god Death. Their eyes burned like fire, their faces were cruel, and their hands held ropes to drag his soul away to hell. Ajmila was terrified. His entire life flashed before his eyes. The sins, the betrayals, the crimes. He realizes that he has wasted his life and there is no escape. And he cried out in desperation, Narayana, Narayana. He was not calling out to Lord Vishnu but his own youngest son. Suddenly, the messengers of Lord Vishnu descended. They commanded them to stop. The Yamadutas said, this man is a sinner and he must face punishment. The Vishnu Dutas said, he has uttered the name of the Lord Vishnu, even unknowingly. The power of that single name has washed away all his sins. The Yamadutas loved him. Ajmila, who had watched everything, was overcome with tears of gratitude and regret. He spent the rest of his life in meditation, prayer, and chanting the name of God. This story teaches us that God's grace is infinite. In 1 Timothy chapter 1, 13 and 14, St. Paul says, even though I was once a blasphemer and a persecutor and a violent man, the grace of our Lord was poured out on me abundantly. So what is grace? Grace is that which God gives us, which we don't deserve. Romans 5:20 is an eye-opener about God's grace. It says, but where sin increased, grace increased all the more. In Greek, the first increase speaks of addition, but for the second time when it says grace increased, a prefix is used. That means multiplication. It means where sins are added one by one, grace is multiplied 1,000 times over. But here comes a doubt. Shall we go on sinning so that grace may increase? Paul answers this question in Romans 6:12-14. Do not offer the parts of your body to sin, for sin shall not be your master, because you are under grace. So you should never be a slave of sin. St. John 1:14 introduces Jesus as the embodiment of God's grace. So dear all, if you have gone wrong or feel like who can help me out of my mistakes, Christ says it is never too late to turn towards Him and receive His grace. May God bless us all. Thank you.